have money, you know? So I gotta say, Saki have money, you know?
Well, you know what is a hot topic? The drama of CFBC.
Good evening, everyone.
Hi, welcome back to the show. Allow me to reintroduce everyone. Then, outside of introducing yourself, I want to ask everyone how was their week this week. So let's roll over here with Sakian first.
Hey, my name is Sakian. My week was a little rough, to say the least. I mean, big controversy and what's not. But yeah, this week was interesting, to say the least.
I feel like you're always being controversial.
That's kind of
like every time you hear Sakian, it's just like controversy walking.
That's how we start. I think that's the biggest joy for evolution. Right?
It's true.
So we look forward to having a little bit more discussion about his controversy in life in one of the shows in the future. It was not planned for this week, but look forward to it. Ayana.
Boy, my week was really rough. I had exams for the past 2 weeks and it really tested my limits and it really helped me to understand and to see that I am capable of doing it. So it was like a bittersweet moment. After I finished my last exam, it was just like a sense of relief.
Oh, good. I finished. I guess it's me.
No, let's talk.
Okay, fine.
I had an interesting week at work as well.
Really?
So
everybody had a good week,
it was just kind of glad for the Friday, glad for the weekend.
I know you had an interesting week. Apart from work too.
Also. Also.
Very wild weekend.
Okay, so guys, I'm Jalanda. My week, it was tiring. I don't have much to say about my week, to be honest. I was looking forward to Friday for the entire week. It was an exhausting week, and I'm looking forward to having a nice, vibrant week this weekend. So yeah, we'll jump right into the topic for this evening. It's gonna be a kind of extended topic, but yeah, Ayana.
So this week, we, like 2 weeks ago, we would have one general conversation, and then we're gonna break it down into different parts. So this week, hot topic was Meghan Markle versus the Queen. I'm pretty sure that everybody who on social media have seen this topic where Meghan came out and she spoke about her life, her situation that she had, she and Prince Harry in
The public.
with Oprah Winfrey.
The interview. Yeah. So
my question is,
okay.
well, there was a whole controversy with her coming out, one, and there's a whole controversy with her being labeled as a liar or wanting to break down the monarchy or wanted to take Prince Harry away from the Queen. What y'all think about the whole thing?
Before we get into that, I was kind of hoping that you might have given us a little brief on the interview, because Ayana versus the rest of us, she said she pretty much has an idea of the entire interview.
So I ain't watch it.
We watched it, but we saw clips. But you said you have you have a whole feeling of the entire.
Why would you put me on the spot
entirety.
like that? All of us here saying, yeah, we watched the clip. Basically, it's about she sat down with Oprah and she discussed her life, her child, and Prince Harry, the situations that they had to deal with being in the castle. Right behind the closed walls, and now she came out basically saying, this was my experience with the Queen, this was my experience with Charles,
her bad experience,
and etc. Her bad experience and Prince Harry's experience. And she basically spoke about that she was subject to racism. The Queen was saying, your child is not going to get a name, and you would not have security
detail.
And then she was also saying that one of the royals asked Prince Harry if he's not concerned of the color of the child's complexion when it comes out. So that's how she was subjected to racism, amongst other things. She also spoke about, what else? She also spoke about the castle or the monarchy not defending her when the tabloids was basically exploiting and just saying all of these mean things about the monarchy and Prince Harry. And if it is that the monarchy could hide Prince Andrew's sexual affairs and etc. and Princess Margaret's whole thing, why is it they can't make a statement as it relates to saving Meghan Markle and Prince Harry? So what do you guys think about the whole situation?
Controversial to say the least.
I think
Honestly.
it's a generational thing, on the basis that what she would have experienced would have been something that Prince Harry's mom, the late deceased Princess Diana, would have experienced by not conforming to the roles and the expectations that she should have based on the monarchy. And by defying those odds, certain things happen where she quote unquote would have embarrassed them because she didn't live up to their
expectations
standard
of
and
what
their
the royals
expectations.
should be.
I don't know, just to add to what you said as well, Meghan also spoke about her time when she wanted to commit suicide as a result of the pregnancy, and I guess based on her hormone imbalance and stuff like that, that caused her to consider termination.
To also add to that, she was contemplating suicide, and she told a member of the royal family or whomever that, yo, I'm suicidal, and the person said the person disregarded her comments and said that we can't do anything about that, you're a part of the royal family, whatever. So she's saying she tried to reach out for help, and they were just like, nah. And I think the same thing happened to Diana too, where Diana was also suicidal, and they were just like, what can we do?
That's
For me, I think one of the things that really tell me, I feel as though the media is real, and as they should, is the main focus is on how they treated Prince Harry's wife. But when you really think about it, it's way beyond that. Like their own flesh and blood, their grandson,
Exactly.
just because there's a possibility that her great grandson might be black in color, even though the possibilities were slim. But your own flesh and blood is beyond the fact that you're treating your grandson's wife in a particular manner because.
But you have to
It's-
understand
no, I mean,
that
it's
the
still wrong,
choice
but-
for many, since the establishment was established, since the whole monarchy was established, they tried everything in their power to not have it infiltrated by another race. You understand? So now Prince Harry can come date this black girl and have a black child, where they would even have sex with the cousins and the sisters and the brothers just to make sure that the blood is pure. And then now, so you understand, you're getting the concept of, like, yes, of course this girl was subjected to racism. So for the public to come out and say, especially Piers Morgan, to say, like, I don't believe anything she said. To me, that's an insult.
I think it goes back a little deeper than that, where who's in the kitchen feel the heat. And I think on paper, it looks a certain way to the general public, like this lifestyle is what it is. But when you really check it out, it's a lot messier behind closed doors. And I find that's not just them because they are public figures in society, but I think even in our own society here, you have a lot of persons who live this image and has this lifestyle where on paper it looks like they're doing this and they're doing that.
And I think given social media now, social media, it exposes a lot, because now you have the platform to say what you want to say and reach the public way deeper than what Princess Diana would have experienced. Because I'm pretty sure if Princess Diana had social media, we would have this conversation would have been having.
So allow me to interject, just showing a little. Guys, we love the comments, we love the commentary, but we're only gonna be, I'm looking at it on YouTube. So if you're on Facebook commenting, please head over to YouTube if you have any comments. As you see me checking constantly, I'll be constantly checking to see if you guys comment. But if you comment on Facebook, I won't be able to see it. So comment on YouTube, and well, that's if you want your comment here
To be featured in the show.
Yeah. So back to what Ayana was saying.
I don't remember.
But I agree though. I mean, it's been this same way for however long, but it's because of social media we are now sensitized by it, or something that we are educated on. But I mean, wow, it's
How you feel that she
crazy to say
came
the
out
least.
and she said, yo, I am being attacked, and then people have the audacity to question whether or not she's lying? What kind of
I think-
society you
it's
think that
always
is?
like that. It will
I
never
think it
be
was
everyone.
always, I was just gonna say
Everyone wouldn't be like, oh, she right. If that's the case, that's never the case. When
But the facts
everybody
back up
agree.
that.
But that
Whether
plays a
facts
role
back it up
on
or not is
the stigma
ignorance.
you have on speaking out instead of hearing just how you honestly feel. You always have to be. It's
Living
always
to a-
walking on eggshells because the public is gonna view it this way and they're gonna criticize you. And I guess that's where it comes the whole idea of being true to who you are, being confident in how you feel, and so you stand on what you have to say, regardless, because at the end of the day, you will get negative feedback, good or bad.
I think it reminds me of the Me Too movement, where a lot of women are they're very hesitant to speak up because it's always like, well, should I wear a short skirt? Or there's always this negative thing. So a lot of women are afraid of speaking up because it's just like, what's the purpose? You know? And I think for Meghan Markle to come out and to say these things about a whole firm, a whole establishment, a whole monarch.
She break it.
She
They
got
break down
she got
the monarchy in
I
it.
mean, not only that, this is how, and as a
You
result,
understand the Queen?
but not only, well, even in terms of Prince Harry's implications, because, you know, he was totally cut off as a result of them voicing their opinions to them. Totally cut off. I think they said the funds that he's using now is
From
some
the
money that Prince
interview,
Diana
so-
left for him.
Yes.
Yeah, so
The funds that he using now is money that
it's not even a situation where, as the Queen
And
said, you
Tyler
know,
Perry.
okay, you know, we are cutting you off, but you know, one with this, how much ever millions of dollars? No, nothing.
Because they know they have so many secrets I think it's just used for blackmail. I think it's just like, listen.
That's a way to get him back. Like no, don't like. Okay, it's like you cut off all he money, he finances. He ain't got no choice but to
conform.
Yeah, basically.
To conform to the rules.
And I was saying that Tyler Perry had to pay for security for the royal for Meghan Markle and Prince Harry.
Yeah, I think
Imagine that.
Oprah had to pay to release the interview as well, like $10 million or something like that. A good amount of shit.
That's crazy. I'm really proud of Meghan Markle for doing what she did. Because I don't believe that it was something easy for you to say. I'm gonna go out and target these people. This is
not
something
really
that
target, just speak my
really,
truth, and as a result, it would have negative
really
implications
people
on them.
To understand, like, yo, the Queen is not what it seemed to be.
So
I feel like it was really them. I don't feel like it was really trying. They were really trying to paint them in a bad light, but just really speaking about their truth. You know, everybody was wondering and what's going on.
I think
and
the
like
amount of details that she gave.
I feel like bringing light to your situation and how you've been treated, because as far as the Queen and the establishment goes,
you know.
Yeah.
So she doing here.
We're coming to that.
We're coming to the whole monarchy.
Who are the five?
Who are the five? We're talking about the whole monarchy. Not shedding bad light. They're just speaking the truth. That's what you was talking about.
Yeah. So I was saying, okay, I lose my train of thought.
You were saying that it's not only speaking about bad about them, but the fact that that is their truth.
Yeah, I feel like it was more so a conversation of this is what I've experienced, this is what I've gone through. And, and I was going to say, in terms of the Queen and the establishment controlling the tabloids, it's more of a situation, even if something was put out, unless you personally give the first-hand experience or the first-hand account of what happened, they could always write you off. So I think she knows how powerful they are in the media, and she felt as though I will not be silenced.
I think it go way deep.
I think I was just gonna say
because I think because even the wedding, I heard there's some lot of millions they pay to go the Meghan and Prince Harry wedding, and I don't think they would have invested in this marriage in that way if they had a problem with it initially, because they wouldn't have financed it if they didn't want them to get married.
You ever watched The Crown?
I was just gonna read.
Me know what that is. But I mean, like, it's like why do that and then cut them off?
I feel like it was always buying.
The Crown is a Netflix series. I think everybody out there should watch it. It actually puts things into perspective, because when you really check it out, you really see.
We get time to what Crown.
What happens behind the scenes, and how their lifestyle and how the monarchy, I mean, even though it will be filtered, I mean, it really gives a good sense of what happens and why they deal with it like that. I mean, it even
it's fictional, It's fictional, but it helps you to understand that we can't see what is going on behind those closed doors, and the Crown actually brings that to your imagination.
So you think they finance the wedding, for example, as a smoke
but
screen?
At the same time, they would also tell you the
maybe that's why it was public. That's why it's so public.
I mean, naturally, the royal weddings must be public, but I don't. Based on what we've heard now, I wouldn't say it was done with a genuine heart. I don't think anything they have done in the past with regards to relationship was done with a genuine heart.
So we got Governor General.
Just to add to what Jolanda said. Just to add to what Jolanda said.
I wish Neo was on the show.
Just to add to what Jolanda said as well, I think a lot of things, yeah, sorry, I was saying, just to add to what Jolanda said, I think a lot of the Crown actually helps to showcase how the whole decision process happens, because, like, for example, it spoke about when the Prince Elizabeth, her father, when he was young and in his prime, he was a king, and he actually had cancer, and how the lifestyle is behind the scenes, and they had just got married, Prince Philip and
Queen Elizabeth,
and as a result, when they were in Africa, they got the word saying that her father had passed away, and because of certain other things and the other technicalities in the monarchy, he then had to walk behind her, and why she took over the monarchy and why did this and why that and all those other decisions really helped to sum up that
You reach
whole...
up to season 4 with Princess Diana?
No, I'm still behind.
Oh, no, I watching this since it first come out. And when you reach the season with Princess Diana, that's when it's going to really hit you how manipulative, not even necessarily the monarchy, but just people of power can be, and what they do to showcase this good image to the public, and then turn around behind closed doors. They are just...
I have a question though.
Yeah.
What do you think is the drive for this power to manipulate? Like, what do you think?
To control the
How? No, I mean like, okay, why is the backing? Okay, you can't manipulate
They
somebody
have
without having
generational-
something that the person wants.
No,
or
they
the
have
person in
generational
need.
wealth. Am I wrong, you know?
They
Back
have-
in
they have-
meaning,
You see,
I
I can't manipulate you if you ain't want nothing from me.
No,
No,
you have
it's
to
not.
I can't let you do what I
I was
want
trying to
if you ain't
understand
need
what you're
anything
saying.
from me.
Yeah,
That's what I
based on what they
basically
have to
say.
offer.
Yeah. I mean, not just besides money, because they're manipulating rich people as well. People with a lot of wealth also. So like, well, no, I watch this show. I trying to see what this show
It's
talking
always
about.
a matter of when it comes to the crown. Yo, how do I explain it?
It's more than just what
It's more than just the money.
it's the ranks.
It's about power,
You know
and it's
about-
also about
What if
generational
I name
wealth. So, for
Jeffrey
example,
Epstein, you know Jeffrey Epstein?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. They have crisis actors. Come on, man, come on the show.
Tell her I knew would that be
I was
good for this
saying
topic,
that,
yeah.
You know Jeffrey Epstein, right? You know this.
not sure.
Oh
Not
my
familiar.
gosh.
Just say it, just
Go
say it.
ahead.
It's about
understand.
this man who basically raped a lot of women. He was really, really rich, but he had a lot of high ties in society. He had ties with Trump, he had ties with Bill Clinton, he had ties with Prince Andrew, and they had this whole island in St. Thomas, a whole mansion. And he would bring girls and just rape them, and the girls couldn't say nothing. But after a while, the girls started coming out one by one and started saying like, yo, this man raped me. I was 15, and this man would give me a lot of money, and you couldn't. And it came up. It was dismissed because he got money. He got ties to the presidency. So it's always about
The
always
1%
who
controlling the
who
world.
Who you got links with? Bill Clinton a part of it too. Trump a part of it too. Prince Andrew's a part of it too, but you can't do nothing to them because they're invincible. So it's more than just okay.
But
yeah,
why is a jail time to them? Like they probably
But they would never go
they
to
would
jail.
never end up in jail.
They
The
would
bail
never
could be $1
When he
billion.
went to jail, right? He ended up dying, and he ended up dying from suicide. But people are saying, yo, Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself. Someone came and killed him because he had so many secrets
for
these
influential people. Correct.
You could not like, yo, we have to kill this
So
man.
we might gotta watch out for them next man there too.
People like Weinstein. What's his name again? The other fat man. Okay.
So,
Huh? Harvey Weinstein. Yeah, nasty people.
So, Ayana, jump into the next topic first. But before she does that, I'm here constantly checking YouTube for the feedback. Where are you guys? Where are the comments? Come on, join the conversation.
Join the conversation. We
Join
really
the
want to hear what you guys
I mean,
have to say.
at the beginning was about Meghan Markle and the monarch, but now we're gonna get a little bit more steamier as you hear the rest of the conversation goes. I need you to join in. I feel like I'm checking my phone in vain.
You said join? I said chime.
Chime in.
Hey, she
Chime
sent her the
in.
screenshot too.
Yeah.
Chime in.
Message me
chime
big.
in.
Yeah, I see it in the chat. She
So
messaged me
there's an
private.
inside joke.
Let me
There's
go
an
in.
inside joke that Jolanda likes to say. Chime in, guys. Chime in.
They
I
are
should
not,
make
they are not
sure.
familiar with the word chime
It's
in.
not
so
that
I
we're
had
not
to send-
familiar.
It's just
But
oh
we live in
man,
2021
and nobody does a training.
and nobody does say chime in.
Yeah, except they do not say chime in.
Anyways, the next subtopic is basically, again, we're still under the same monarchy topic. But the next subtopic is, do you think a monarchy should exist in contemporary world? What is the need?
Ain't sustainable.
I'm glad you raised that, right? One of the things I found interesting in watching The Crown too was when the grandmother, which is Elizabeth's mother, Elizabeth's grandmother, spoke about the importance of the monarchy. And basically she said in a nutshell that the monarchy represents what society should live up to. And by living up to means that the whole concept of like, okay, certain gestures that we do, what constitutes of manners and, you know, certain table etiquette.
Let's talk about the queen to them that would have got down here. Let's talk about that.
Hey, you don't help plan them. You don't help plan them, miss.
It doesn't matter.
I agree. And that's what I've been trying to do.
I'm glad you
let's go ahead, continue.
Yeah, so basically the
queen should have
about
understand
that whole idea and that whole gesture and stuff like that. And you know, I just found it very, very interesting. And then I think Elizabeth, after she came back from Africa and she became queen, and they said, God bless the queen, God bless the queen. The grandmother said to her, I think she asked the grandmother in confidence, she was like, so will the monarchy ever die? And she's like, the monarchy is still a separate entity, different to the government of England, and yet still it's what the world needs to let them know what the standard of living should be, and also is the image that society should use to live up to, or some crap like that. Like, and I was just like, you know, a bit appalled because I couldn't understand the connection between saying that you are the appointed ones that the society should look up to in terms of how to live, and when they come out here in the region, you know what I mean? I just wasn't really in support of that.
What do you think that the monarchy could do that we as an independent sovereign state can't do?
Nothing.
Like,
Nothing.
It's, to me, it's just a whole matter of the rich versus the poor.
I just think that
traditional outlook
is programming.
It's a programming thing. It's a matter of like, yo, I am the top.
That's
like you said,
the traditional outlook of we are the elites and you should naturally follow suit.
Yes, and like you said, mannerisms and those things, and that's what we do here in St. Kitts. Literally, when you set the table, our grandparents ones would have certain
mannerisms that were taught.
Mannerisms, like the knife and fork, so you call them.
The cutlery.
The cutlery, etiquette and certain things, certain etiquette when you sit by a table. All of that is just, well, you have to be uncomfortable when you eat it.
But even down to that,
even eating, having tea, or I guess down to playing with your dollies, and it's like
not even that. It's just more about the etiquette. It's about the etiquette.
But I mean,
but those social norms are what were stipulated by the monarchy, and that's where the issue lies for me. And also, for example, like you would hear your older parents say, "Well, you shouldn't have your elbows on the table." But have they ever really researched it? The reason why they said that you shouldn't have your elbows on the table was for the fact that you could have pulled your gun. Because remember, in that era, it was a period of soldiers, so they would have their big swords and stuff, and the rest of them on the table. So in order to keep basically a level, neutral playing ground, you would actually try to keep the thing so you couldn't reach for your sword as fast as, you know what I mean?
Even so, yes, definitely. Because literally, some bugs following are you?
No.
Bugs following me. Literally certain mannerisms, and we're seeing it playing out in our queen shows, where we have to have a certain mannerism, like you said, in order to be the queen.
But it's from small,
From small. It is so
it's
engraved
It's a
in our society.
generational.
It is so engraved in us. We don't even know that these particular things that we are doing is because we are looking up to the elite.
You ever see when Prince Harry they come saying it? Like the one time when he had Brimstone, went up Brimstone and they gave some plaque or whatever. Like, why that was such a big thing? School was off because of that.
Because he's a good.
So like we have no choice but to look up to these. When they was on the stage, I was in primary school, right? When he was there and they was presenting the plaque, I see there something like, oh, this man nearly like Jesus come visit. They walking through like the crowd and so, like we were sitting down and they walk through the oil and whatever, and people like, some lady he was with, and they want to take picture with him. Like,
so it's more like,
you know what I find interesting though? Just on the same thing with the show, on the Crown, and I keep saying y'all need to really go and watch it on Netflix.
I can't believe people
they spoke about
but we don't want Netflix.
Elizabeth and Prince Philip actually went to Africa, and they were having dinner, and they had all the tribal groups and the natural cultural welcoming, and the flowers being thrown down after them, and they actually went as far as even saying, they said, look at it, they're treating us like we are royalty, don't they know that we are pagans, or words to that effect. And I was just like, we go above and beyond, treating them as if they are better or they're superior to us, when in reality we're all people.
We're all people.
You know what I mean? We all can die.
What did they say? What did they say? The Queen shit does this thing.
They're living off of the people's taxes. They're living off of the 54 Commonwealth countries that they have. They literally.
But even in school, you never hear about this in school.
Especially when it goes back to the Meghan Markle situation and how they frowned upon the possibility of having
biracial child?
Yeah, within the generation of the monarch, and it's just like, and then at the end of the day, we have to look to them as our head of state with this still existing mentality that, you know, but clearly they're above, and clearly they are racist, and you want to believe so much that racism is, well, within the Caribbean, we want to believe that racism is somewhat put to an end because, you know, we live in a predominantly black society, but it's like, look, who is our head of state? Look at the attitude they have towards who we are as a people. Because that's basically who we are as a people.
They had us as slaves for 400 years, you know? Like,
you know what I find ironic though? I mean, I know if you saw the article, Ayana, where
you know where they stopped slavery?
Barbados,
when you finish,
was actually trying to, what was it?
They take them from the head or something?
I mean, to be a republic.
Correct.
Okay.
And disassociate as it relates to that whole concept, and I really must applaud that.
For Barbados.
But Barbados, right?
I remember the female Prime Minister for Jamaica did that as well when they came, and she said they should have given them back all the monies for having enslaved persons for that period and stuff like that, because the reality is that they're living off of basically blood money. They're basically living off of blood money. All that money from the Atlantic slave trade, the African slave trade, where we went from Europe to Africa to the Caribbean.
Let me show you how we
have a question.
As you said that, they're basically living off our money, and the fact that they were losing during slavery, as you talk about where they cancel slavery, they were losing so much money. They said, okay, let them go.
It's so programming, right? Even in school,
but they still enshrine their regulations and policies. So we all, it's like me, you know.
Guys, I have a question.
Read the comment. Let me interject real quick.
So he said, what mannerism in the Queen show would you say is forced, Diana?
Miss Plano.
How you carry yourself, how you walk so gracefully. Why do you have to walk like that? What is the purpose?
Why that consider the winner at the Queen
how
show?
How you walk, how you carry yourself, how
posture,
all of
body
that.
language.
Why?
I got a question though.
It goes back to the topic that we had last week when we talk about nature versus nurture, and also trying to live up to this unrealistic standard that this is what you should be, you know what I mean, and what makes you different by saying you fit in this mold that society causes to fit this concept of who Ayana should be and how Jolanda should carry herself in society to be respected.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? So I find there's a lot of hypocrisy.
And it's like, why you have to be called a queen at a Queen show? Like, why?
What I also find ironic, right?
Why is it a Queen show? But why? Why a Queen show?
What I find ironic, right?
Why did I have Queen shows? Period.
No, why is it called a Queen show?
So what would you think?
Why is it called? I don't know what the thing, but why is it called a Queen show?
What I find ironic personally is,
and it's a pageant.
From the African history and the African heritage, they all say that we are all kings and queens. So why wait? Like Ayana is, I think where Ayana is going to say that, why wait for Ayana to come out at Queen show in December for her to be acknowledged as a queen? She should be treated like that generally, and she should operate like that from Monday to Friday. I mean, Sunday to Sunday, whether she is, you know. But I don't know. I just find a lot of things in society a bit crazy and not realistic. So
exactly.
Two things. I only need these as Firstly, in the relation to the topic that we had last week, nurture and nature, and the difference between them. I was doing a presentation the other day. I was drafting it, and I defined success. And success is when you're successful when you remain yourself or remain constant in a world that is forever trying to make you something else. That's when you're successful. When you could stay true to yourself in a world that always trying to change you. Then that's my 2 cents from that. I wanted to say that word. The slavery thing now and how programming coming, even in the schools, in history, you learn about the non-conformists, or the people them that always was in England trying to fight for the rights of people and what's not to end slavery. All of that just a smoke screen, yeah. Because that wasn't really the case. Yeah. They've just tried it out because watch, these men getting too expensive to deal with. I can't really. They're bringing in that much money, so watch, let me deal with something else and try.
It's costing too much for me to uphold these people.
It's like,
let them go.
Even, you know the churches, them was the biggest like funders for these, like these men is who finance the slavery thing, and the Catholic Church in Europe and England and them man there. Them, it's crazy. I don't know. People go Catholic Church here. They can't do that. Yeah? Me can't see me so going them should be
right. No, there's a conversation that we need to have. Like people
even the same Pope.
It may not be that way now under different management. It all came back. The Roman Catholic, all of that is just them. They had slaves.
Literally.
And so they were responsible for educating us with their religion. I don't know if you had ever watched Viking. They would travel, find new land, kill off the people.
And then so they claim it in the name of the Queen. Basically saying it happens with all of these wars too. And wars has happened over the generations. But it's all about claiming the land in the name of whoever. And the reality of what you talk about too is, I always find it ironic with the Pope. I mean, if God is so good, right? And heaven is so good, why do you want to drive on in a bulletproof car?
Just then.
Take a shot for somebody.
Come on. Meet your maker.
I'm just saying. I'm just joking, guys. Please don't take me serious. But I'm just saying, like.
Like I thought, man. Last week was my turn.
Generally, I just
take him serious. Everybody, last week was my turn. Like I thought.
Okay, so back to the conversation of the monarch within the contemporary society. It has been in the tabloids, in the media, that Barbados is looking to become a republic and remove the whole monarch as the head of state.
Because they found that the monarch serves no purpose.
Right? So the question to the panel now is that how do you guys feel about the removal of the monarch within things? I mean, I feel like you basically answer just saying that you just
talk about it.
Which is how I also feel.
Correct.
So I'll open the floor to Ayana and Sakyan.
What was the question?
As far as the monarch being within, well, let's drive back home. Let's come home to St. Kitts. What is the purpose of the monarch now? Because you know that, well, I would hope that you guys know that the monarch is our head of the state. The queen is our head of state. And if we remove them as our head of the state, we will be a republic and actually be totally independent of
without
them.
Depending.
Yeah,
yes,
like
correct.
we are independent, but are we really independent if we don't?
Yeah, that word being used kind of loosely.
I think, well,
all our major decisions still have to have an influence on what the Queen says. So, like you said, are we really independent? Yes, it's this whole facade of being independent. We're independent on paper.
But the reality is that we're not.
We're independent
we still follow a lot of the laws that were created by the British and still follow them up to today. I mean, look at it. The Governor General represents the Queen. They drive around with a royal plate, which symbolizes the Queen. So all of the communication to the country comes through the Queen. When you were in a state of emergency, back then the two parties, he was the one who was in control. I mean, even recently when we had Unity and Labour, when they had the issues and whatever, he was the head of state. Those things happen where I still think that certain things from the monarchy and from that whole concept can remain. Like, for example, if the politicians who were voted in is quote-unquote making poor choices, you can still have somebody who makes the final decision. But I just don't see it going as far as Europe to come down here to intervene.
But the very plaque they gave Prince Harry when he came, he said, well, he basically saying that Brimstone Hill is the one. In a nutshell, from what I did get from it, when they reading the plaque,
they were just saying like, the natural heritage sites to carry them to quote-unquote our highlighted areas in society.
So were you thanking them for putting so much people, well, his family putting so much people through so much pain and struggle to build a fortress that we don't even use?
Going back to the conversation of why do we need the monarch, I did a little research, and basically the only thing that the Queen actually does herself is appoints the Governor General,
Is that a
signing off
matter
the
of
official
what?
papers.
Is
I'm
that a matter of what
saying you have to understand what she does as it relates to why she not needed. You understand what I mean? If you're gonna excuse the whole monarch, let's make clear that she really does nothing when it comes to us.
You
right?
can't say
And when I said does nothing, meaning like the major decisions done in Parliament, right? The Governor General has the
Final
say.
But the Governor General is a representative.
He's a representative of her. But guess who recommends the Governor General? Who the Governor General technically acts on behalf of?
The Queen.
No, he is a representative of the Queen.
Hey, somebody pick him.
He
and the Prime Minister should have relations.
The Prime Minister recommends the Queen.
Let me finish. The Prime Minister recommends the Governor General because he knows that the Governor General will act in his favor. Right? And as a result, as I also read, if the Prime Minister and his cabinet doesn't feel as though the Governor General is doing a good job, and in my mind that means it's not acting in their favor, they can approach the Queen themselves to have him removed. So ultimately, the Governor General, I feel as though, to the main extent, acts on behalf of the Prime Minister and his cabinet. Yeah, he's the representative of the Queen. So based on the things that he approves and maybe has to carry to the Queen and what's not, is basically aligned with what the Prime Minister and his cabinet wants.
You're right, and I'm not disagreeing.
I mean, that's what she's not here.
But
she doesn't have any factual. She's going based off his recommendation.
You have to understand that the Governor General place is to be a representative for the Queen. So even though you might say that the Governor General or the Queen don't do nothing, the Governor General, if it is that we have to go Republic, we have to remove the Governor General.
I think this is me.
It doesn't work both ways. It's either president.
I'm disputing that he's the representative of the Queen. I'm just saying, looking from it on a realistic level in terms of really representing the Queen. You understand? He's the body that is acting as the head of state while she's absent. But as I laid out before, I don't think I need to say it again. I'm talking based on what influences his decision, even going to her. With certain recommendations, it's not totally his own because he knows he's acting based on the government in which he believes in.
For me personally, I think that the whole system needs revamping. So by that I mean, for example, look at the civil service. 60% of the population works in the civil service, right? And for me, everything still goes through that process that ends up at the Governor General. For example, as simple as getting appointed, it still goes from you're working under a supervisor, you still write it through the ministry sends off his appointment, and it goes all the way up to the Queen, right? Essentially, it goes to Parliament, it goes to the Governor General, and eventually after all of your performance, then essentially at the end of it you will hear that this person got their OBE, the MBE and different awards that are recommended by the Queen, right? But I'm still saying, like, we could have our own awards that still gives it a certain standard and still come up with our own regional system or body that can represent that we could still stand up as a unit. I think a few weeks ago I even went
in the same sense.
Basically, that's one of the things that travels up to her in terms of her
saying
giving an actual role that she plays. You understand what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. That's my whole idea of why is the monarchy still there. But I have a good question that would actually lead into a good conversation. It says if we move to a republic state in the event of a national crisis, for example, God forbid, we have a hurricane that really ruins the island. Do you feel we'll be in a decent position financially without a head of state that is?
First of all, I'm glad that conversation.
I think it's a good conversation.
Because one, even though we have the Queen of a head of state, we are still an independent, sovereign,
nation,
autonomous nation, which means no country in this international world as an independent have an obligation to help us, right? Nobody have an obligation, not even Antigua or Saint Martin, because we are all autonomous. So even though we have the Queen of the Head of State, England has no obligation to help us in the event of a hurricane or in the event of any kind of catastrophe, right? So it goes back to it doesn't matter if the Queen of the Head of State or not. We
have to fend for
ourselves, and it is a moral obligation for people in CARICOM and people in other treaties that we are involved in to help us. A moral obligation
and pool our resources together.
And it is not a legal obligation for nobody to help us because, like I said, we are independent on paper.
But I will also say, Diana, remember that we still have certain perks of keeping the Queen. I mean, I was just trying to play devil's advocate here. I mean, for example, using our CARICOM passport and saying that we are from the small island of St. Kitts, we can go to Europe without a visa and have certain access. We can stay up to a year, we can work. It's basically you could still go home.
It doesn't matter.
So it still has those.
Dominica is a republic, you know, and Dominica has the same things that we have. It's the same money we use. They have the same.
The 8 islands that shares the same Caribbean dollar.
He ain't talking about the dollar. He's talking about the ways that we have
but they have the same.
passport.
They're also part of the same Commonwealth passport, but they just have the head of state. The head of state is just not the Queen. So it's like we could still remove the head of the state, but we could still remain as a Commonwealth or as
But how would that help the Queen though? By being a Commonwealth country.
Before we drift from the conversation, have a response to your statement, or question rather to your statement. They don't, meaning they don't have an obligation, but do you feel there is more of an inclination for them to help when they are the head of state?
Yes.
Who said that?
Yeah, no, that's a question.
Oh, you're reading a comment.
No, that's a comment.
Like
who said the comment?
It goes based on moral obligation. And so if it is the Prime Minister of England at that time feel obligated to say, okay, well, we have to help out these islands in the Caribbean because they had just had a hurricane, then yes. But if it is that these people, they go like Trump and they say, bye now, we got a feeling for ourselves, we can't bring them here.
So I think that's really
where we get the vaccine from?
Basically.
There wasn't noted.
Yeah.
They wouldn't.
So again?
I think that's what.
Where we get the vaccines from?
India.
India.
I mean, who donated them?
India.
Dominica or something like that?
No, we contributed to the making of the vaccine. So you go into a global fund, and then we said that we're going to take the one. But the vaccine that we have in St. Kitts right now is the same one that Europe is using, which is from India, which is the Oxford Zeneca.
So you're taking the vaccine?
What? So I think what Danica was basically getting at was that even though they have no obligation to us, as you said, there may be a moral sort of obligation to us. With us having that totally removed, the whole, even the slight morality that they might have for us in terms of helping us, do you think that we could withstand the whole idea of not expecting anything totally from them? I think that's what
I can't make a judgment because anybody would feel as if America would help the people in Bahamas when they had the hurricane. What the hurricane was called? What the hurricane in Bahamas?
Katrina.
A few years ago. Not so far. It was Irma?
Maria, one of them.
Maria.
No, it was a few years ago.
But somebody.
And it mashed up Bahamas bad. Remember Bahamas had a lot of different islands. And people were saying like, yo, America need to take us. And Trump was like, no. Send them back.
About Trump, eh?
But we're talking about moral obligation.
Yeah, and that's what I said. Remember, about Trump.
The Bahamas.
If it is Trump was the head of state in England, it would have been the same thing. This is what I'm trying to get at.
Yes, I'm saying, I feel as though when the conversation is about Trump, is a whole different conversation.
I don't think it has anything to do with the fact that we were once a colony, because the Bahamas is literally right there. The cruise ships, all the cruise ships, there's dock in Bahamas and those things. And Trump was like, no, we can't take them.
But because they see the cruise ships them going there as a plus for Bahamas, not really a plus for
It was a plus for
United
America,
States.
most definitely. The whole mashup thing in the Bahamas, it really hit America. Now,
I feel like
But remember, Bahamas is an independent state to the US.
Exactly.
So they really realistically have
moral
no ties.
compass.
That's
as
what
it-
I'm
as
They
it-
just kind of
but that's
have
what I'm saying.
certain common understanding. So, and that's where I think Danica's comment was talking about the whole, do you still need them? Because the reality is, I mean, if they were under them, then they probably would have intervened from Florida, which is a boat ride across here.
But even
Even
Puerto
thing.
Rico, they don't hit Puerto Rico.
They don't.
But
it's
watch
a
when
moral
St.
obligation.
Martin was hit by the
St. Martin is ruled by flag.
yeah, that I mean, but you see how
Netherlands.
instantly from since the hurricane hit, somebody was on the radio
If it
station
was
with EK.
Angola, Britain would have sent them, Montserrat, Britain would have sent them ASAP because
Yeah,
they-
So
They
because
have
ain't a
doing
moral
the last
compass,
hurricane.
like
They have
they're
doing
doing
the
it
last
because
hurricane.
they are the colony basically.
Right.
So I
but we
mean,
as an independent state, it's literally based on a moral.
so why we in these various
India didn't have
treaties
to
and
donate to us. India is a moral obligation.
why we in these treaties and so
Only
on?
we
contributed,
OECS,
We did
CARICOM, why we in all of that?
Why we in it?
Yeah. If
In
the
what?
biggest like CARICOM, OECS, like why we are part of these
Because
organizations?
more is better than one. We are stronger together than.
But then if your
one
moral
together.
compass is the only guide when you're in these organizations,
crisis?
Anything exactly. And
it's
so,
like they could
I'm so
say
happy
no.
that we're having this
They
conversation.
could just
because this is
they
my
could legit
field.
say no.
There's a theory
Literally.
that says like, yo,
I'm not against it.
But maybe
eh?
I'm
What?
not perplexed with
It's
being a CARICOM,
inevitable.
Because yeah, with the free movement of
people,
labor and all of that,
I feel
yeah.
like the conversation of removing the monarchy is where the whole sense of moral obligation comes in. But with being within the whole CARICOM and OECS,
Maybe
you actually
they
have
definitely got
perks
it.
within the country.
and it's a moral obligation. You don't have to follow anything. I remember when Mike Pompeo came to the Caribbean, he only
No, you
spoke
remember
to
his
certain-
name by
He only spoke. Mike Pompeo is the vice president
of who?
of what his name? Vice President Pence. Mike Pence came to only speak to certain CARICOM members of state. Only certain CARICOM members. And there was this whole big thing like, yo, how y'all could go meet with Jamaica was like, how y'all could go meet with Pence and we're supposed to be a CARICOM, we're supposed to be one, and you letting this man come and individually pick out who he wants to talk to. Y'all was supposed to say no. We are meeting as a CARICOM state,
Yeah.
but they have no moral, they have no legal.
So Jamaica
like,
find a
yo,
moral compass all of a sudden? Okay.
Yeah.
But all the thing
Let's
too,
not go there.
why the federation didn't work?
The West
We're
Indies
doing
Federation.
the many want that with this just in case the books here. She just start about this in class. Me not in that. But why the federation didn't work?
Okay.
To me that was the best
So
thing
that's
though.
what I said. They
I
found
know
a
the
moral
best
compass
thing.
all of a sudden.
To me that was the best.
Any-
What I mean,
Anytime
saying
they-
is even Angola?
Anytime the bigger territories
No,
didn't
it's
leave,
Federation.
that would have been
Yo, I'm
perfect.
glad that never happened. Yo, when they just talk about it in class, right? Them Jamaicans, I'd be like, stay over there. Because the way all your money set up, we want the over here.
No, but it would have actually been stronger.
It would not have been stronger. They
If
would have
more people
eat
using
up. They would have eaten.
I know.
But me want to go to town with a $10,000
Bahamas
bill, man. Me
like
no, I
63
glad me not.
keys, 100 keys,
I don't want.
little islands.
How would have been
And at the
stronger?
same time, unity is strength. Come on.
He probably would have worked more because more
You know
people
why?
using
You know
it.
why? It's just like how. It's just like how.
It would
The,
have
the US have 54 states, all of them using US dollar.
The US dollar only so
and it's
powerful
still
because of
stronger
demand, yeah.
Because of the demand, and also
Demand is the
them
biggest
being
drive for the
united.
currency to be
If the whole
valuable.
region,
I want to hear
the
what- I
whole
want to hear
Caribbean
what you
region
would say.
could have united and have one Eastern Caribbean dollar, our Eastern
Corruption
Caribbean dollar
again.
is stronger than
Some other way would
Trinidad.
have. It's
Guyana.
like we picking
That's
how we
It
want
is
to become.
because we are not linked to
Literally.
Trinidad and
Just
Jamaica,
picking it.
whose monies are literally worth
What I'm
nothing.
saying,
No, he
Ayana,
was
is-
saying before it reached to a point of
What
the
I'm
money.
saying,
We
Ayana,
vote
is
for
that if we were
We
doing
vote for the
Caribbean
corruption, yeah.
trading, Caribbean business,
our
Caribbean
election.
all
You
that,
would
we
not
would have been stronger.
That's
because
why
what would happen?
CARICOM in working, and guess what? We're still where we be. But what CARICOM there for?
Okay, I know.
CARICOM.
I know the money must have been
supposed to
stronger,
be.
especially
must have been
with all the
stronger.
the various GDPs coming together.
Thank you.
And
Talking about
then
the dollar.
Thank you.
We, the smaller countries.
it won't any a Jamaican
at
dollar
the end
for
of
sure.
the day-
I
at
hope
the end
not.
of the
I
day,
don't know
we
that.
small Caribbean countries will be the ones supporting people like Trinidad and Jamaica.
We would not, because they two produce things. They are.
So why you in that debt? So why Jamaica in that debt? Why Jamaica in that debt if they got?
What I'm saying is, how many products that Jamaica produces that even in this crisis right now, Jamaica could have manfully closed their doors and still have their own production that they produce. Canned stuff, food stuff, this, that. They still have this.
Jamaica underwater because of different reasons. It's similar to Africa.
When we first closed our borders, when we first closed our borders, that is when Jamaica opened up their borders.
That still ain't gonna affect the dollar.
Basically, it's literally a 1% thing in Jamaica.
Jamaica is concentrated on the elites. That's the issue within the society.
You understand that Jamaican dollar is 1,000. 1 US is 1,000. What is it?
100?
100?
Yeah.
I'm saying, you know.
1 US.
I ain't understand.
But I'm saying that regardless of whether or not regardless if we were one West Indian Federation, Jamaica would have still been in the same position that they are in, and it would have also brought down our value of our currency.
It could not because
the smaller countries will be feeding into Jamaica, feeding their debt. We will be constantly feeding their debt.
But then if we is one, they wouldn't have that debt.
Jamaica wanted to be a part of the Eastern Caribbean, you know?
They wouldn't be a part of that debt if we were one. The debt, because certain things where they would have got consult with the other states
but
before
they would have still be acting independent. They would have still be acting as Jamaica. Maybe not independent.
That's the problem. If they was in the state, then if it was one big federation, as you want to call it, they wouldn't have got the power to just get up and be like, I want some money from the AMF, let me go. Like, I think it would be a process that they got to go through.
What I'm trying to break down, Diana, right, is that in the Eastern Caribbean right now, of the 8 member states, St. Kitts is leading. Right? Now, it might have shifted because the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank might have shifted that region. But what I'm saying is that those countries, when we could all pool together, we pool it right now for health, when we created the Caribbean bubble, before the Caribbean bubble burst, right? I'm just saying that we can get it together as a region. You know,
I felt like we should have done that, especially when the pandemic was
meeting, talking about the Caribbean bubble.
That wasn't controlling the
You know what, the greatest thing came out of the Caribbean bubble was the fact that for the first time, I'm sure that most of the Caribbean islands came together on a virtual meeting or virtual platform to sit down and discuss and say, hey, we don't have COVID. COVID is imported. So we could travel within the region, and if we had the same Liat flying from Jamaica right down to Trinidad, you know how we could have been? Let's even go a step further and include Bahamas. You know what we could have been as a region in terms of pooling our resources right now where the borders are locked. We could have been going to
that's an utopic, right?
OECS is compared to Caribbean, we are far more advanced.
I wish.
It's different. The OECS is far more advanced than when you compare it to CARICOM. It's not the same when you have these larger territories like Guyana and Trinidad.
Because it's just the mentality they have.
Exactly.
They feel like we are dependent on them.
They would have been the one. They would have been the boss. And we would have to do what they say, and all of the decisions that they make are always bad decisions. We would not have had the OECS, the smaller countries who understand that, this is our population, this is our size, we don't really have much to contribute to, so let's pull together our resources and make it happen. The OECS and the CARICOM, you can't compare the two. You really can't compare the two. I really, honestly, when we speak about this in class, I really speak about the OECS because I think that the fact that we are able to keep our dollar pegged to the US at 2.7 for so long, we are doing
2.67.
2.67. We're doing immaculate. We are doing. But when compared to Guyana or when compared to Jamaica, 1 to 100.
Literally.
We would not have any decision. We would not have any say in the decision making.
You can't say that. I won't say that.
But that's
we are not walkovers.
That's what I'm saying. It's based on what
it even help us because
based on what we are allowed.
Let me think about it like this.
Tell me one thing that CARICOM has contributed since COVID.
Think about it like this,
One thing that
Jamaica, right? Jamaica would have been like this. Like you have St. Kitts, Anguilla, Jamaica, Trinidad. Me and you is Jamaica, I'm Trinidad, whatever. Right? You would have represent the smaller countries, basically. Whoever I tell I forget. But it's like you got one person representing your big state. They have one person representing the smaller state. So when it comes to voting and certain decisions and so, it's the same vote. You got one vote, they got one vote.
You know what?
So it's like,
But
they really got the same power.
You know
it's
what
like,
Jamaica said when they left the West Indian Federation?
Oh.
1 from 10 is 0. You know what I mean? Even though they still got 9 states, it means nothing. It means nothing. It means 0. 1, which is Jamaica, from 10 equals nothing. Why he didn't say 9?
I understand what you're saying. I think for me, that if they were to pool their resources, they would definitely have to change certain things. Like for example, if St. Kitts is leading right now, Jolanda, and we are the strongest one in the CARICOM region, then maybe we could have pooled in a way where Jamaica and these other islands will have to. I don't want to say will have to, but it will be encouraged for them to compromise in terms of seeing that we have something that worked for the 8 islands, and also seeing how they now can incorporate themselves. They might have to humble, they might have to take a few steps back just for it.
I rather us work with the OECS than to work with CARICOM.
We had a comment that said CARICOM and OECS is a separate conversation, to be honest.
Yeah, they're two. It's like talking about night and day. Honestly, I rather us have the bubble and work together with OECS nations than to work with CARICOM nations, or else we would not get anywhere. But where did that come from?
Honestly, if you notice that, I was kind of smiling because I was here thinking, so this is not about the monarch. But I listened.
I mean, it's a good conversation.
Honestly, I was just here thinking, so where along the line did we lose the conversation about the monarch?
We spoke about the dependency, and Danica was asking if...
she had another question, but should the conversation with all the way left?
Danica was asking about if they have a moral obligation to save us in a time of catastrophe.
And that's why we
planned
the
conversation, but I had another question there that I kind of skipped over. She was asking, I guess we're kind of job at now because we're kind of all over the place. You're against other pageants in general in the world, for example, Miss Universe?
I don't like the idea of putting a woman in this very box. You have to be like this in order to be constituted as beautiful. It's not even no longer about the monarchy. It's about how you portray a perfect woman to be. You have to be slim.
So the answer is
you have to be. It depends, because if it is, these are pageants. Pageants are different than if you can consider something a queen show.
They're the same.
They're the same,
but you just happen when it comes to, I feel as though we refer to talented teen as talented teen pageant because it's more of the teens, but ultimately they are pageants.
I don't like the fact that you have to put somebody in a box and give them these mannerisms and these expectations and checks and balances to constitute.
I wanted to know your answer. No?
That's what my answer.
No, it was more of an explanation.
I don't like the fact that Not saying that I don't like queen shows. I find them very entertaining. But the whole idea behind of it, I don't agree with it, no.
So yeah, we kind of narrowed down to the end. I guess you could say a little something brief. If anybody has anything to say really and truly about the whole conversation.
I think this general conversation this week was actually quite fruitful. I think we were able to kind of talk on different topics. Specifically from the monarchy and where we are and how we see things going. I think we really touched on a few key points.
What do you guys think about? I want to continue.
Next
week. You brought up the money thing. So if it is that we have to change and abolish the monarchy, do you think that we have to change the money too?
Yes. Yes.
That mean we have to come out of the...
She fears that come out
her face. I don't see her face serving a purpose. Why don't she donate some money to us?
What?
I agree.
Bishop could have done. But no, you are continuing.
and everything else.
And that's gameplay.
I agree.
Man, he ain't got none.
I like the little try.
So if it is that we have to abolish the monarchy, if we really have to abolish, we have to take off the queen off the thing. I mean, we have to come out of the OECS. We have to change our money.
Yeah, but that's the least.
That's the easy. Hey, matter what on the money.
Out of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank.
But the headquarters.
No. We're gonna have the same.
Yeah, understand.
I'm just saying, just like how we have the parliamentary notes now, her face being on our notes serves no purpose.
But remember, the Eastern Caribbean is used throughout the OECS. You know? So if we
want to jump out to CARICOM, not
the whole
OECS.
region, just like how Barbados.
So the whole region gotta say.
We can get a different dollar, which is the easiest part.
So the whole region has to be republic.
I don't think they would mind.
I mean, the same. That's how we feel now.
Do you know when they mind? Is when somebody
feeling as like kind of goes back to the whole.
Use a
I know, right? Relax. The whole idea of us still being someone.
Is you chopping? Nobody doing nothing.
Feeling a little mentally enslaved. I feel like everybody will feel a little relieved when it comes to that. I don't think it will be a big issue either.
But I think the issue would be who gonna be represented instead.
I think that would be the question.
Because you got like 10 countries coming.
I think the governor of the central bank can represent.
Yeah. But they don't gonna governor one of the notes
change, you know.
Yeah, but how long? Maybe every 10 years. By that time they change the coins, just so recirculate different money.
Not gonna be to change.
So the governor general, the governor of central bank has to stay there for 10 years.
I'm just saying that's 2 terms.
I'm thinking what happened is, remember when you turn to the back, you just see some other things from different
parts, yeah.
So you could be like that. You could
maybe we don't even need.
They could put brimstone here on it.
Yeah,
maybe we don't even need a picture of a person on the actual money. We could actually have maybe just a picture of the central bank. I think on the $100 there is one, and we just have just a picture of the central bank.
But the US gone on the thing them.
Like
the past presidents and so on.
The past presidents.
Jamaica have on like Thomas, man. What his name is?
Norman
Mandy and those things.
But I take out them man face off for that because them
I don't quite remember.
they're wasting the people them face.
Since I've seen a Bayesian dollar.
Yeah. So we don't have to put on a person. And
I think if we put on the central bank and just leave it as that, and maybe even
but who won?
Farmer.
I feel like the fact that we just bring out the different type of monies, it can take a while for them to change the
like any other dollar
perception.
Because they're gonna reduce the money supply without causing the money. It's kind of complicated.
I think the value of a dollar will always be a dollar, and if you have the same 2.67,
that's the same thing. I said like any other dollar. You think? I don't even know how
from time they print them new ones, deal.
You can't change the money all the time, you know.
That's what I mean. So that's what I'm saying. Like any other dollar, you will change out.
And that will take so long.
That's what I mean. Like the value would be the biggest thing of it. Like that is where you have
trust
to
me.
It'll
change. Because if they pump it back in, the inflation is the word, not infiltration. You know, you agree with that there.
Inflation and all of those things. It's more
stick to international relations and lead economics.
Inflation and those things.
Yeah, sometimes the money inflate. Wait, no, the inflation is like 0.8 or something like that. So don't say that.
It's a lot to it. It's not as easy as saying, okay, let's change out the money. Just print some of your money with the
they could just print it without hold them a while.
Guys,
and like sell some government bonds and so.
I'm seeing a lot of Danica, but I'm seeing more people on the live, the more views. Only Danica has an import.
Yeah, we
come over to YouTube, guys. Come over to YouTube.
No, but I mean some people on YouTube. So Shayla, you there tonight? She see me and tell me, Jalana, stop calling me name.
But yeah, I think we really had a great conversation tonight about the Manag, and I think it opened up a road for you guys to explore and decide whether or not you are comfortable with abolishing the Queen as our monarchy. I mean, given the whole Meghan Markle situation, we hope we really kind of get some sort of transparency of what the royalty and what the monarchy can really be. I mean, we already know it's very racist given slavery and whatever, but do we really want that to
continue for generation and generation?
So that was our conversation for tonight.
I mean, even beyond the whole idea of Meghan Markle, I feel like it's a conversation that is ongoing.
It is.
Prior to that, this only the Meghan Markle situation only highlighted what we already felt in our hearts, that they operate with a sense of racism. But other than that, just the whole idea of we having our own head of state within the country, And yeah, I feel as though, as I said, as I drew my points before, there's not much of a role that the Queen plays when it comes actively. The Governor General acts on behalf of the Queen, but at the same time,
on behalf of
I forgot to mention that even our prison is called Her Majesty's prison.
So it's like for me, it's like what's the reason if we are literally already acting independently, even as far as laws. I had a conversation about
parliament system.
The whole a lot of laws will reflect some of the British laws. Even final court of appeal is actually in the Privy Council. What do you guys think about that? Because talk about that before we move on. A final court of appeal is the Privy Council, which is within Britain.
I mean, we have a Caribbean court
to be honest,
of
when I did
justice here in the Caribbean.
The whole idea of being for the advantages of the Privy Council dated back to the fact that the Caribbean is so small and interconnected, and as a result, there'll be a lot of personal biases within the Caribbean. And even if the judge might be somebody from Jamaica or St. Lucia, the ministers in general have such a good relationship, so you might expect some sort of bias within your final decision. That was one of the advantages when it comes within the Caribbean, because it has been reflected that personal biases have influenced decisions within the CCJ. So I guess you can understand that, but ultimately, yeah, I could agree with removing the head of state with back home and removing the monarch.
I think overall, even you might know the Prime Minister or whoever, the Prime Minister and the Prime Minister don't have any influence over the judiciary system, you know. Remember the trip?
I know.
There are branches.
Before you're going to explain the branches that I know, executive, legislative, and judiciary. Before we go into the branches, the conversation was personal biases. Who know who? It's seen every day within society.
I don't.
No, it's actually a textbook fact with examples.
I think it's possible. I think it's possible, but if it is that we really want the CCJ to keep up and uphold its reputation, I don't think that is something that they are really doing at this time, simply because I cannot influence the decision. The law is the law. The law is the law.
So
I can't influence. If I'm a good lawyer, I'm a good lawyer.
Like you're kind of missed the
if I'm a good judge, I'm a good judge.
As I was saying,
I didn't miss the point.
No, as I was saying, it's more than me just assuming. It's a textbook fact based on case that's but as I was saying, just in general, that was one of the reasons against when it comes to personal biases. I mean, I guess you could just do a haul on those kind of things from taking place in the future if we were to remove the Privy Council as a final court of appeal. But it's just the fact that it has happened.
I'm not saying that it can't.
But Sakian, your final words before we close the show.
Well, thanks for tuning in. This is the show with the people, for the people, of the people, by the people.
I think that's it. Guys, don't forget to follow the show on theshow.kn.
Make sure you tune in next week.
On YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Yeah. We
every
have
Sunday,
the videos actually still be here, so you could go back and rewatch the videos.
Yeah, don't forget
there's
clippets of the conversation that we have during the week. So if you don't want to watch the whole hour, you can watch the little clippets when you're getting ready for work, when you're driving to work, during work, during lunch, after, when you're doing your homework. I mean, it's like I said, I've keep saying, it opens up a conversation for the people to have. So some people may not agree with what we are saying, but this is for you to leave your comments, for us to come back next week to adjust those comments.
Next week, if you miss any week, I just make sure you can tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a. Next week gonna be a crazy show. I'm telling you, mine.
Oh, yeah, we're talking about the controversy.
One of the most controversial shows. You know what I mean? Watch. Next week, make sure you're on. Okay, that's all. Alistair, you say vaccine, we're going for it. Just know they start to charge us.
So guys,
take it well if you see.
Have a good week.
More
guys.
times.
Have a good week.
Bye.